The Dodgers are back being the LA Dodgers, simply the best team in baseball. And look, they're the opposite of a one-trick pony, right? They can beat you any way you want. They can slug poppy, they can pitch, they can defend, they can clutch hit. And one thing they never, ever, ever do is beat themselves. They never beat themselves, and the Yankees imploded by making not making the plays. That's something they never do. And for all those home run lovers out there and home run chasers, they beat this and they're moving on.
The Dodgers is an organization that they get prepared for this type of situation. If you look all the way through their lineup.
It was all Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Unbelievable. He led a leadoff home run, and then after that, he threw the first complete game of his career in the first in the playoffs since 2017. And it's the first for a Dodger in a postseason since 2004. It's just an incredible run of success now for LA starters. Dodgers are now 2 wins away from getting back to the World Series, trying to defend their title. It's amazing. This postseason, they're 7-1. Their starting rotation has been insane. A 1.54 ERA in 8 games. Only the 83 Orioles have a lower ERA in the postseason, and the only reason that made it is because our producer, Jonathan Kaplan, grew up in Baltimore. That's why that's on there. So, watching these first 2 games, Derek, it looked, yes, the starting pitching has been incredible, Snell and Yamamoto, but it almost looked like the Dodgers took a little of the Brewers' soul these first 2 games in Milwaukee. What's your take?
Well, the Dodgers are the most talented team, and they are playing as the best team. You know, when you throw Snell, you follow it up with Yamamoto. In game 1, everyone said, well, look, the Dodgers bullpen struggles a little bit. Trinan has been struggling. He came in, does the job. These guys are battle tested. They know how to win games. They know how to prepare. And the talent it's unbelievable.
I agree, Derek. And you know who else is growing right in front of our eyes over the last 8 or 9 years? It's Dave Roberts. You got to give Dave Roberts a lot of credit, Kevin, because when you look at that game yesterday and you stick with Snell and Yamamoto, right? It's really an indictment of what we've seen the last decade in baseball, which is pulling your pitchers early. As a matter of fact, the irony is it was Snell a few years ago in the World Series that got pulled when he pitched for Tampa against the Dodgers, and then they went on to lose that game. So credit to those pitchers, credit to Dave Roberts. Great leadership, watching your eyes and trusting what you see.
One thing that I always want to focus on every time I'm going to face a team is look at their ERA. This guy, 1.54 ERA during the playoff, 4.30 during the regular season, Milwaukee 6-0 against the Dodgers. You guys are not facing the same team. You guys are facing a team that when it comes down to the lights to get brighter, to the ball to get smaller, they shows up. That's why they are the defending world champions. So, Milwaukee, you guys are in a tough situation right now, let me tell you.
You're really giving a lot of Brewers fans a lot of hope here. You guys are.
So it's time for our newspaper headlines. I'm gonna go first, and I'm going crazy. Yamamoto.
What? Yamamoto. He's throwing a no-hitter?
No, 7 no-hit innings. He throws 97 pitches, and he's pulled. Does not get to finish the no-hitter.
I think, really?
Wow.
Okay.
Dodgers win the game. Dodgers win the game. So once again, I predict that Yamamoto will not give up a hit on the first pitch. I am jinxed. I really have this power.
We didn't even get our car started in the parking lot, and this happened. The show was over at 8. This was like an 8:08.
First pitch twice.
No. At least he won both games. No, we blocked that stuff. We've been doing this for too long. Nope, not receiving. I'm telling you, there is some witchcraft.
Yeah, I know. Don't you dare. Don't you put that thing on my nose. No.
I don't play that. No way. Me and Joe Girardi, we don't play that.
Anyway, as we get ready for this game, I feel like we still have to look back at what was Dan Plesac an absolutely dominant performance. The first pitch is a homer. After that, he gives up 2 more hits, and it looked like a side day towards the end of that ball game for Yamamoto.
It shouldn't come as a surprise, but at times it does. He's the most decorated pitcher to come from Japan. I mean, he's won the equivalent of the Cy Young Award in Japan a few times. To get rocked the first pitch of the game, but I'm telling you, you go through and you watch this game. He goes through the 9th inning of this game. And if you just turned the TV on and watched the 9th inning, I mean, his body actions and mannerisms, he was like doing this sitting in a chair. I mean, the precision
this is the ninth inning.
Incredible. And I'm going to tell you, 97 is smooth and easy at 97. And the split finger, the thing that makes it so lethal, he throws it at different speeds. Sometimes it breaks down and in. Sometimes it breaks down and away. And he's turning around. He's like, it's only a 3-out league. I was ready to throw more. I mean,
it looked like he got how many outs?
I can't say it enough. To watch two pitchers on back-to-back days. And this takes nothing against the Brewers. There wasn't a team left in the postseason that was going to do anything against those two starting pitchers Monday and Tuesday. That's how dominant they were. And if they continue to pitch like this,
the Seattle Mariners could not score against those two guys.
No. Nobody would have.
No.
The thing about it that's so difficult as a hitter, you're sitting on certain pitches, and they didn't miss. And if you got your pitch, like say I'm looking for a fastball, it's on the corner. It's on the black. It wasn't just I'm looking for a heater. That boom, it's on the black. They didn't miss. Hitters make a living on mistakes. And the last pitch of Blake Snell's game, the breaking ball he throws to the left-hander, I mean, come on, 3-2? That isn't fair. And this guy finished the game with a split? That's not even fair. That's their secondary pitches that they're finishing games with. And they're throwing it with in counts when it's supposed to be a hitter's count. That's the problem.
Here's another major problem. Travel day today, so the bullpen gets 2 full days of rest.
Yeah, not 1, 2.
It's been 18 innings of Dodger baseball. The bullpen's been involved in 1 inning. Think about that. They pitched one inning in 2 games.
So Dave Roberts would have been in some serious trouble. He didn't send him back out there tonight. He got a lot of heat for not sending Blake Snell back out. Yamamoto was even dominated even more. So if he didn't send him back out, he had to. But I'm loving what they're doing, Greg. We're seeing old-time pitching. 8th inning, 9th inning, and they're playing because their bullpen has been so shaky down the stretch. It's forced them to use the starting pitchers the way we love seeing starting pitching used. Stretch them.
Now, as we talk about the way the Dodgers are using their starters, I mean, Snell's got over $100 million. Yamamoto's got $300 million. Ohtani's got $700 million.
That's over
Glasnow's got over $100 million.
That's $1 billion.
So everyone else is bullpenning, trying to figure it out. The Los Angeles Dodgers decided what they did last year, which they bullpen teams to death to win the World Series, and their starting pitching ERA was over 5. They decided to scrap that, and let's actually go with legitimate horses. Is this just good pitching, or are the Milwaukee Brewers having a poor approach? The first 2 games, they just didn't have the correct approach.
No, it has nothing to do with approach. And I was concerned all season long at the health of the Dodgers starting pitching. And I thought it would be easier said than done. Okay, let's wait till late August, early September. You were on this early. Said, nah, they'll be ready to go. And I will say this. They went through a slew of relievers during the regular season. And they had all they could do to win the West. But when you get rewarded and your starting pitching steps up like it has in this postseason, I mean,
they look fresh.
The
fewest amount of innings from a starting rotation in the big leagues came from the Los Angeles Dodgers.
This looked like watching the Dodgers in the 80s and 90s when starters went 8 and 9 innings. Like
Don Drysdale and Sandy.
Oral Hershiser dominating games.
But the difference, that's where the big money comes in. The Rockies can't do this. There's not many teams that can sit there and say, well, wait till August when all our guys are healthy, that you give them time to get fully healthy because you're able to have a bunch of young pitchers that you paid money to come up and throw.
Yeah, but you know what?
So kudos to them.
I want to say one quick thing.
It's worked.
This whole idea that
everybody can do it.
The poor Brewers only have 1.5 starters. That's what they keep.
No, I'm not saying that.
Absolutely,
I'm not saying that at all.
Quinn Priester's a starter behind Freddie
They're
Peralta.
choosing to do this.
Jose Quintana is a legit starter.
Yes, they are choosing to play.
Chad Patrick is a starter.
They're choosing to do this.
Jacob Mizorowski was starting games this regular season.
I agree.
They're choosing to do this, and I wish that they would have a different approach.
I agree.
I just wish they would.
But I tell you what,
this is the smart.
We have to give the Dodgers credit for it. Yes, they spend a lot of money. Yes, they have a target on their back. And when you spend more, you also have the most to risk and lose and get torn apart. Like, oh, you signed all these guys to these big long-term contracts. They would be the laughing stock, right?
Yep.
Listen, they reinvest in the team, their fan base and that organization. They're about one thing: banners, World Series banners.
No doubt.
Not Western Division, not AL wildcard champions. They want to win the whole thing.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And they're spending the big money on the guys.
And the players, we can see the pitchers competing with each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they've created there as well. And back to the last point, the Brewers offense, and Dan's been touched on this. This is a team that puts the ball in play. That's how nasty the stuff has been they faced the first two games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have a competitive edge on this show, too. We compete with each other, you know?
Absolutely.
Especially when John Morosi joins the show.
And we begin today with the Dodgers getting a complete game three-hitter from Yoshinobu Yamamoto last night to beat the Brewers 5-1 and take a 2-0 lead in the NLCS. Yamamoto gave up a first-pitch home run to Jackson Chourio and then just two more singles in the next 8 innings. The Brewers never had a single runner in scoring position. Pablo, what do you think of what the Dodgers are doing and how they are doing it?
Tony, we begin by joking about how old you are, but this first topic makes me feel like I'm watching my childhood. We're getting complete games in the playoffs.
Yep.
We have a Haas. We have a series full of Haas's, of aces, of guys who will do the thing that we haven't seen since, I believe, Justin Verlander in 2017, throw a complete game in the playoffs.
Complete game.
To go back to, I believe, the last time this happened with two starters this good over 8 innings, we're going back to 83, I believe, 1983. It's a delight. I was told that baseball that in fact, the thing that had gone extinct, gone the way of the dinosaur, was this type of person. And so I want to make fun of the Dodgers for having, Japan as their farm system. That's why Yamamoto is this way. But they got a staff full of these guys. Glasnow coming up can do exactly this too.
So I want to go backwards first. Do you remember when the Seattle kid in game 1 against Toronto, the first pitch he threw, and George Springer, boom, parked it in the seats? And you looked at that game and you said, oh, whoa. Toronto is going to do to Seattle what Toronto did to the Yankees, 34 runs in 4 games. And that did not happen. It did not happen. No. So last night is deja vu all over again, as Yogi would say, because it's a first pitch home run. And then after that, there is nothing. Milwaukee doesn't get anything after that. The Dodgers starters have now gone in this series 17 innings, given up 4 hits.
Crazy. And
struck out 17. As you say, I hadn't seen a complete game like this, in 8 years. The Dodgers starters ERA right now is 1.54. They're built for this. I understand Milwaukee beat them in the regular season 6-0. I understand in the regular season, Milwaukee had the most wins, 97. This is not the regular season. The Dodgers are built for this. They understand that they don't really have relievers, so they say to the starters, keep going. You know what else, Pablo? They've become something we haven't seen in I don't know when, a likable rich team, because they spend money on the right people in the right way. They collect active people, not old people who are past their prime. They know what they're doing.
Well, I'll leave the obvious joke here aside that you just alley-ooped to me. I will merely comment that the Dodgers are doing the thing that when I was growing up, the Yankees are the last team that I saw do. Right now, especially impressive is the fact that the postseason, as you know, Tony, as a huge baseball fan, is a roulette wheel. How do you keep the roulette wheel from spinning wildly out of control? You use your arms. The arms the Dodgers have wrested control of chaos in a time of, relief starters. It's just a crazy time in baseball. They bring us back to a time resembling sanity and likability despite the expense. But you mentioned, I suppose, the ALCS. That resumes tonight in Seattle. And the Mariners, of course, won both games in Toronto. Mariners have never been to a World Series, Tony. We know that. They're up 2-0 now with the next 2 at home. So does this accomplishment, making the World Series, feel inevitable to you?
Not inevitable. There is a small window that you can look through. There have been 3 teams in a 7-game playoff series that have lost the first 2 at home and still gone on to win. 3 teams out of the 28 that occurred to since 1914. And it's World Series teams because there never used to be an LCS. So there's the 85 Royals and the 86 Mets. There's the 96 Yankees. But So far, Seattle has been decisively better than Toronto. I have some numbers here that I think are pretty good. They've outscored the Blue Jays 13-4. They've out-homered the Blue Jays 4-2. They've out-hit the Blue Jays 17-8. And the best Blue Jay player, Vlad Guerrero Jr., is 0-7. So maybe he shouldn't have taken so much delight in saying, the Yankees lose. Him and Big Papi yucking it up. Maybe that doesn't feel good now because their team now has a batting average of 131 in this series.
Yeah, the Mariners, to me, are the most conventionally likable team available to us. He talked about the Dodgers being shockingly likable because of all of their payroll. The Mariners have all of the makings of the true underdog. And the only problem that keeps me from inevitability, and to me, of course, there are really just three things that are inevitable in life. It is death, taxes, and Mike Wilbon taking off random Wednesdays of PTI in the fall. Short of that, yeah, it's hard. I mean, look, I watched the Yankees lose to the Red Sox with a giant lead, Tony. Like, I've seen 3-1 leads get blown. I've seen things. It's a closer series than I think the outcomes have suggested. And I just caution that if there is a burial ground that is cursing this Mariners team, it's not quite over yet. That's the bar for inevitability.
No, it's not quite over. I will say this. I had occasion to be in Seattle for football games where the crowds were, it's the loudest outdoor crowd I'd ever heard. And I expect sort of the same from baseball. I mean, they all know they haven't been to the World Series. They're all going to try and help. Let's jump into college football here. The story of the season off the field so far has been the firing of coaches. James Franklin is one of 7 coaches fired from a big program before the halfway point in the season. The biggest story on the field so far is Indiana. They're 6-0 and coming out of a huge road win over number 3 Oregon. Indiana coach Curt Cignetti is the hot name now. Pablo, do you think he's more likely to stay at Indiana or leave for an historically bigger program?
I think he's going to stay. And I think it's the right move to stay. And I would not have said this 5 years ago. College football is different. We know this. We are frustrated by it because the influx of money in a fake free market has changed things. But the point is, Indiana, which gets those Big Ten checks, they also are spending like they're an SEC school. They got a president who, the stop before last, was at Georgia. They have a staff in terms of the assistants and expenditures, Tony, that they've doubled in expenses as they've renewed Cignetti. And Cignetti, by the way, is paid like a top 5 coach in the conference. So the question is, will you compete for players because there's a market? Will you compete for coaches because there's a market? Will you compete like you're a school above your station? The answer to all of that seems to be yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of people believe that there's going to be a pillow fight between Cignetti and Matt Rule to see who gets the Penn State job. But I'm going to agree with you to this extent. I think it is so romantic to think that Curt Cignetti would stay there and build this into a juggernaut because Indiana has the most losses all time of any college football program. And he gets there from James Madison, a school that nobody outside the Washington, D.C. area or Richmond, Virginia knows where it is. And he brings a bunch of kids with him. And in less than 2 years, they're number 3 in the country. That's absolutely amazing to me. Cignetti knows what it is like to coach at a big school. He was an assistant to Nick Saban at Alabama. If he thinks he can do it at Indiana, they could name the field after him. And the romance of that may actually get to him. Let's take a break if we could. Coming up,